Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's an honor to be here with you today. Now I want to talk about something modern, something everywhere, something most of us have in our pockets right now. Social media. Ah yes. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, and 10 more platforms I can't even keep up with anymore. And let me say up front, social media is not evil. But listen carefully, you are more powerful than social media. Say it with me. I am more powerful than social media. You see, I grew up in a time when the only network you needed was your neighbors and your handshake. A good conversation was face to face. A friend was someone who showed up when your car wouldn't start. Today, a friend might just be someone who double taps your vacation photo and scrolls right past your pain. Now I'm not saying we throw out the phone. I'm saying we own the phone. We don't let it own us. Let me tell you what happens when the phone owns you. You start measuring your worth in likes. You start comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You begin to chase attention instead of building value. And slowly, quietly, without even noticing, you lose yourself. Don't wish it were easier. I always said, wish you were better. But let me add something to that. Don't wish for more followers. Wish for more wisdom. See, wisdom doesn't trend, but it lasts. Lesson 1, you are not your profile. You are not your selfies. You are not your captions. You are not your follower count. You are not a brand. You are a being. You are flesh, soul, spirit, dreams, ambition, strength, and fire. And you don't need a filter to be beautiful or valuable or worthy of love. When you get quiet, I mean really quiet, when the screen is off and the lights are down and it's just you and your thoughts, what do you hear? Is it peace or panic? Because how you answer that question tells me how much power you've given away to a piece of glass and plastic. Lesson 2. Input shapes output. When I was young, my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, told me, Jim, stand guard at the door of your mind. Today, I'd say, stand guard at the gate of your feed. Because what you consume will consume you. What you click on starts to click back into your brain. Spend 3 hours a day watching people dance, and you'll think life is a show. Spend 3 hours reading, studying, reflecting, and you'll think life is an opportunity. Choose your input like your future depends on it. Because it does. Lesson 3. Discipline over dopamine. Let me tell you the truth. The platform is designed to pull you in. The algorithm is not your friend. It's a trickster. It gives you dopamine, little rewards, tiny hits of pleasure. But success doesn't come from dopamine. Success comes from discipline. Discipline to turn the phone off and read a book. Discipline to stop scrolling and start journaling. Discipline to create more than you consume. I once heard, you can either be a producer or a consumer. The producers make the tools. The consumers get used by them. Be a producer, not just of content, but of character. Lesson 4, connection is real life. We were made for connection, not notifications. You know what the best app in the world is? A sincere conversation. You want to feel alive. Sit across from someone you love. Look them in the eye and tell them the truth. You want to feel rich. Go volunteer. Help someone who can never pay you back. Social media promises connection, but it often delivers comparison. Comparison, my friends, is the thief of joy. If you live your life comparing it to everyone else's feed, you'll never feel full. You'll feel forgotten. But when you connect in real life, something comes alive inside you. Something deep, something strong. And that, I promise you, is more powerful than any viral video. Lesson 5, purpose is the power source. Why are you here? No, really. Why are you on this earth? Because if you don't know the answer to that, someone else will answer it for you. Maybe it's a corporation. Maybe it's an influencer. Maybe it's an app. But purpose is power. When you know who you are and why you're here, you can use tools like social media instead of being used by them. You post with purpose. You scroll with awareness. You protect your time, your mind, your mission. The final word, take back the wheel. Let me wrap up with a simple metaphor. Your mind is like a car. Social media is like a GPS. It can suggest directions. But you, my friend, are the driver. Never hand over the wheel. You have goals to chase, lives to touch, skills to sharpen, dreams to build. That little device in your pocket is just that, a device. But you are a destiny maker. You are more powerful than the likes, more powerful than the trends, more powerful than the screen. Why? Because you're the one writing the story. And your story deserves more than hashtags. It deserves legacy. So go, live with intention. Use the tools, but never let the tools use you. And remember, you are more powerful than social media. Thank you, and God bless. Let me begin with a simple question. A test, really. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and liked what you saw? Before you checked your phone, think about that for a moment. Before you saw what your friends were doing, before you scrolled past the influencers, before the world shouted its opinions, its filters, its expectations, when was the last time you looked at yourself and said, I'm proud of who I am right now, as I am? You see, we used to judge our lives by character, contribution, kindness, effort, and growth. Today, too many people judge themselves by engagement. How many likes? How many followers? How many people shared that post I worked so hard on? And the problem is, none of those numbers know your heart. They don't know your story. They don't know what it took for you to get here today. They don't know how hard you're working behind the scenes. That's why I call it the mirror test. Because here's the truth. If you can't look yourself in the eye, in the quiet of the morning, before the scrolling begins, then it doesn't matter what the world says. You'll still feel like you're not enough. Now let me tell you something, Mr. Schoaf, my mentor, taught me when I was just a broke kid with big dreams. He said, Jim, don't let the outside world define your inside world. He didn't say, delete everything, or live in the woods. He just meant, know the difference between what's real and what's just noise. And folks, a lot of what we see today, on social media, it's noise. Polished photos, staged smiles, filtered lifestyles. We see the trip, but not the credit card debt. We see the six-pack abs, but not the insecurity that drove them there. We see success, but not the sleepless nights, the broken hearts, the anxiety behind the image. And if you're not careful, you'll start comparing your real life to someone else's edited one. And when that happens, you lose. You lose confidence. You lose time. You lose joy. And worst of all, you lose you. So here's what I want you to take away from the mirror test. You don't need to go viral to be valuable. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You don't need to go viral to be valuable. You don't need to chase the algorithm. You need to chase authenticity. You don't need to impress strangers. You need to inspire yourself. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not against social media. It's a tool. And like any tool, it can build or destroy. Used with purpose, it can educate, encourage, and elevate. Used without purpose, it can distract, distort, and deceive. That's why I always say you run the day, or the day runs you. And in today's world, we could update that. You run your feed, or your feed runs you. Let me give you a practical suggestion. Start your mornings with yourself, not your screen. Before you check what the world says, check what you say. Ask you, what am I grateful for? What am I building today? Who do I want to become? Then look in that mirror, not to critique yourself, but to connect with yourself. And if you don't like what you see, don't run from it. Don't filter it. Don't post something to cover it up. Do the work. Because here's the secret most people won't tell you. Self-worth isn't built by applause. It's built by alignment. When your actions line up with your values, you walk taller. When you speak the truth, your truth, you walk freer. And when you live from the inside out, not the outside in, you win. So next time you pass a mirror, whether it's in your home, the elevator, or a window on the street, I want you to pause, even just for a second. And instead of asking, how do I look? Ask, am I proud of who I'm becoming? That question will take you further than any follower count ever will. You are more than a profile, more than a post, more than a trend. You are a force, a living, breathing story in motion. And no matter what the algorithm says, you write the ending. So I say again, you are more powerful than social media. Let's remember who's holding the pen. The digital puppeteer, you are more powerful than social media. Imagine this with me for a moment. It's 6:30 a.m. The sun's not even up yet. You roll over in bed, rub the sleep out of your eyes, and before you've had your first thought for the day, you reach for your phone. You don't even think about it. It's automatic now. Muscle memory. And just like that, your day begins. Not with purpose, not with intention, but with programming. Because whether we like to admit it or not, that little device, that phone, has become the world's most subtle and seductive puppeteer. It decides what we see. It decides what we think about. It decides what we're angry about today. And sometimes it even decides who we are becoming. Now, friends, I'm not here to tell you to throw your phone in the river. No. Let's not be extreme. What I'm saying is, don't let the tool turn into the master. You were born to lead your life, not be led by a screen. You see, years ago, if someone wanted to influence you, they had to knock on your door. They had to write a letter, shake your hand, earn your trust. But today, they just need 1 second of your attention, and they can hijack your mind, your mood, even your morning. I call it the digital puppeteer. Because every scroll, every swipe, every recommended for you is someone else pulling the strings of your time, the strings of your focus, the strings of your emotions. And if we're not careful, we become puppets in someone else's play, dancing to a rhythm we didn't choose, reacting to problems that aren't even ours, comparing ourselves to lives that don't even exist. You know what that leads to? Stress, distraction, discontent, all of it, manufactured in high definition, posted with a filter, and delivered to you at the speed of light. Now, my mentor Mr. Schaff used to say, Jim, the most dangerous thing in the world isn't a bomb or a gun. It's an idea planted in the mind without your permission. And that's what happens every day when we hand over our mental space to the algorithm. You think you're just checking in, but you're checking out of your own purpose. You think you're just browsing, but you're being trained, conditioned, pulled. So what's the solution? It's simple, but not easy. You have to take back the strings. You have to remind yourself every day that you are not a puppet. You are the playwright. Let me offer you some practical wisdom. 1. Control your mornings. Don't give the digital world the first word. That sacred space, that first hour, it belongs to you. Wake up, breathe, think, plan. Read something that feeds your mind, not your ego. Ask yourself, what do I want to create today? Who do I want to become? What matters most? Start your day with principles, not programming. Because if you don't write the script of your life, someone else will. 2. Audit your attention. You've only got so many thoughts in a day. Why give them away to gossip, rage, or distraction? Who are you following? Are they lifting you or draining you? Your feed should feed your mind. If it doesn't, clean it up. Turn it off. Or better yet, tune in to your own voice again. Because you don't need to follow a trend to find your truth. 3. Choose influence over addiction. Let me ask you, are you using social media? Or is it using you? If you're creating, inspiring, connecting, teaching, that's powerful. But if you're scrolling, comparing, reacting, refreshing, escaping, that's not power. That's a trap. And friends, you were not born to be addicted. You were born to be awakened. There's a world beyond the screen that's calling your name. A mission, a message, a masterpiece waiting to be built by your own hands. Let me wrap this part up with a little picture. Picture a puppet show. The crowd is clapping. The characters are dancing, the story is dramatic, but none of it is real. Behind the curtain, someone's pulling the strings. Now ask yourself, are you watching the show? Are you in the show? Or are you finally ready to step backstage, cut the strings, and write your own act? Because here's the truth, you are more powerful than social media. You are more powerful than distraction. More powerful than programming. More powerful than the puppeteer. Why? Because you have choice. You can choose what you think, what you feel, what you focus on, what you build. And that, my friends, is the ultimate freedom. So next time you pick up that phone, pause. And remember who's really in charge. I want to start by sharing a little moment I witnessed the other day. I was at a small coffee shop. Corner table, black coffee, no cream, just the way I like it. And in the booth across from me, there was a young couple, maybe in their 20s. They were clearly on a date. You could tell by the way they sat a little too straight. The kind of nervous energy you only see when two people are trying to make a good impression. But here's what I noticed. They weren't talking. They weren't laughing. They weren't connecting. They weren't learning about each other. They were both scrolling. Thumbs moving, eyes down, barely a word exchanged. And I thought to myself, what a picture of modern life. Two hearts within arm's reach, but miles apart in attention. And I'll tell you what really hit me. They weren't being rude. They weren't being cold. They were just being normal. Because these days, that's normal. We've lost something, and we don't even realize it. We've lost the art of being present. You know, when I was growing up, presence was a gift you gave without saying a word. When you sat down with someone, you looked them in the eye. You didn't need to be anywhere else. You weren't distracted by a screen or an alert or someone else's vacation photos. You were there. And you know what that meant? It meant respect. It meant attention. It meant value. Because to be present with someone is to say, you matter enough for me to give you my time. The one thing I can never get back. And here's what I want to suggest to you today. In a world obsessed with attention, presence is your superpower. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to bash technology. It's amazing what we can do. We can connect with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But the illusion of connection is not the same as real connection. Social media gives us access, but not intimacy. It gives us highlights, but not heart. It gives us more friends, but fewer friendships. Because connection isn't just measured by bandwidth. It's measured by presence. And presence can't be downloaded. It can't be filtered. It can't be faked. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat with someone? No phone, no distractions, no multitasking. And just listened. Not halfway, all the way. Because I'll tell you what I've learned in all my years. Half attention creates half relationships. And the world is full of them right now. We know what someone had for lunch, but not how they're really doing. We know where they went on vacation, but not what keeps them up at night. We send a heart emoji, but never ask, how's your heart, really? My friends, we are starving for depth in a world drowning in surface. But here's the good news, a presence doesn't take a college degree. It doesn't take 1 million followers. It doesn't take a new app. It takes something rarer. It takes intention. So let me give you a challenge. Next time you're with someone, really be there. Put the phone down. Close the laptop. Lean in. Listen not just to respond, but to understand. Because you'll be amazed how much changes when you give someone your full attention. And I don't just mean in conversations with others. I mean in your own life. Be present with your goals. Don't just think about what you want. Work on it today. Be present with your family. Don't just post about gratitude. Show up with it. Be present with yourself. Take a walk. Sit in silence. Hear your own thoughts again. Because when you're constantly plugged into everyone else's life, you forget to live your own. And here's the truth I want to leave with you. You are more powerful than social media. More powerful than the trends, the notifications, the noise. You don't need the world to validate your worth. You don't need to perform your life for applause. You just need to live it, fully, presently, purposefully. Because here's the paradox. While everyone else is chasing attention, the real power belongs to those who can give it. So be that person. Be the one who looks up, who shows up, who listens, who leads. Because in a world full of distraction, presence is leadership. And you, yes you, were made to lead. Thank you.